Hello everybody, welcome to Night Call. This is a Raw Fury game, and it is a noir investigative simulation. It hasn't gotten great reviews, it's kind of mixed right now. I've been wanting to play it for a while now, since I found out about it a few months ago, so we're going to take a look at it right now. So quick options, you see it does support full screen at 4K audio. It's just sound, music, and master volume. Again, pretty simple settings. I don't know what the Pasidex is. Not going to look at it right now. Maybe at the end of my video we can do that, but let's just start a new game. Okay. Oh. Oh, what is this? Choose the investigation. So what the story is that you're a taxi driver, and people around you become at ease and they tell you things. There's a killer on the loose in the Parisian streets, one or multiple killers, and you as a taxi driver happens to actually be a surviving victim. I believe that's what I read on the store page anyway. So, and you're trying to basically figure out what the heck is going on, maybe save your own life, save somebody else's life. So, I don't know what this is, why we're automatically choosing the investigation, but I suppose there's random, randomly picks, no matter if solved or unsolved, or we can pick one of three or do a surprise. So, yeah, it's apparently these stories are written, I mean, it's a story-driven game, so, and the stories are based on very realistic ideas and motifs and such, so it might be a little disturbing for some. Anyway, so the judge. Victims have all something in common, and the motives seem clear, but which suspect could have done it? Balanced case, perfect for a first run. Random victims, unknown motive. Weird case, slightly more difficult than the others. Angel of death. The Sandman, the victims may feel random at first, but there's a connection, yet the motives might be hard to find. Dark and twisted case. So this is kind of a, I guess, a difficulty kind of a thing. We'll go straight to the judge, because, oh, hey. So we got story mode. Money will be easy to get by. The investigation will be easier. Every action will take less time for a chiller experience. Balance, the way Night Call was designed, or hard. Money will be tighter. Investigation will be harder to solve. Every action will cost more time for a more challenging experience. Let's go with balanced, and if I completely botch it, then maybe we'll switch over to the easier mode. But the way the game is meant to be played is always kind of like how I want to play a game, unless it's so ridiculously hard. So there you go, you got your developers and your publisher. The video is not very high quality, but maybe that's just the way it looks. Hey, yeah, so you gotta look at the credits anyway. So when I looked at the credit screen, it actually froze on me when I tried to press escape to get out of it. So that's why I didn't show you in the beginning. Alright, let's take a peek at this. Maybe this actually tells us the story instead of just having written on the... That's pretty dark, alright. Alright, there's auto mode and next. Alright, so doctor. Here. Sir, can you hear me? Or do I need to speak up? Okay, so so you just spent 2 weeks in a coma. The word bounces around your head. You need a moment to understand its meaning. Coma? The word scratches along your throat. Yes, you are the victim of an assault. The word resonates in your head. Victim. You are aware a serial killer is currently on the loose in Paris. You feel the contents of your stomach crawling up in your throat. The judge, as the police call the killer, assaulted you. The bullet touched your liver. In most circumstances, it would have been fatal. We chose to put you in an induced... Her voice becomes distant. Fades. You taste bile at the back of your mouth. Your head is burning. You hear a whistle in one ear. Your fingers move to your wound underneath the bandages. You can feel hard skin. It is incredibly painful. Did they... I'm sorry? Did they catch the judge? No. I think in a half coma. I'm not really fit to ask any questions. So, why are there 3 dots here? This ellipsis means there's nothing, or what about the cops, or what about my passenger? I think coming out of a coma, I'm not particularly concerned about my passenger. Not particularly concerned about the cops either. We'll just let them talk. The doctor is silent for a second, very awkward second. She hesitates. The police would like to see you as soon as possible to ask you some questions. After all, you're the only one who survived the judge. Noise in the hallway attracts your attention. You try to turn your head, to no avail. You need to rest. She leaves the room. Her voice resonates in the hallway. I don't care, he's the only witness. He's... Another female voice joins in. A strong, authoritarian voice. You can't clearly make up what she's saying. A strange feeling washes over you. It is not pain, not fatigue, some odd combination of the two. Before being in this hospital room, you never realized that anger was made up of a combination of pain and exhaustion. I'm actually going to switch over to my controller. Anger. A feeling you know all too well. Days go by, and a month later... Night 1. Alright, so... Boss. Well, look, I've got a bit of a problem. A real problem, that is. You have a pounding headache. It's your first night behind the wheel since the attack. Are you listening to me? You catch your boss's eye in the rearview mirror. Yes. He stares at you for a second or two without speaking. Sometimes I wonder what goes on inside your head. You always seem so far away. I'm listening. Okay. He's watching you closely, trying to make out what's going on in your head. You know I'm worried about you, don't you? I know. You're like a son to me, you know? I know. And you know he's about to tell you the story of his taxi fleet. Again. When my father died and left me the store, I could have sold it. I could have retired, gone back into the old country. I'll let him go on, for story's sake. But I decided to start a cab fleet with the money he left me, hire the guys from the neighborhood. And that's why I got 45 guys like you working for me. His hands flutter in the air. Though none of them are any match for you. He smiles. His voice suddenly takes on a serious note. Do you want me to go over everything again? He points to the equipment on the dashboard, the meter, the GPS. You haven't been in a taxi for weeks. Maybe you do need a little refresher. Yeah, good idea. Right then, well, first a map. You spot potential customers and try to guess where they'll be going, then you decide. When a customer orders a taxi, there's no one else around you, you have to go pick them up. He shrugs. That's the way it goes. It's business. No problem. The other fares, you look at the map and decide whether or not you want to take them. And then you drive. He flashes a quick mechanical smile. You know it well. When he talks about work, he talks about work. That's all. When your shift is over, we do the numbers and... His voice trails off as if searching for the right words. And that's all. It's pretty simple. There's no reason why you can't do it. Alright, no overtime. We're in France here. No rules. Regulations. You might not see it that way, but no one likes having a driver who hasn't slept for 24 hours. He looks away. Something's been bothering him since he got into the cab. Anyhow, you know the ropes. You get it. I know you're going to do a good job. So this is where the whole, like, people are calm and at ease around you, and you can get them to talk, so we can do the, what's the matter? Your boss keeps quiet for a while, as if he's hesitant to speak, and then... I don't think it's a good idea. You shouldn't be driving. The murderer is still out there. Well, we think he's going to come back. For you. So... It doesn't look like any of these options have the little symbol in front, so... I could... Let's do we. Okay. We. Your colleagues. I do too. Anyway, I'll let you get back to work. Every minute I spent in your taxi is a minute lost. He gives you a smile, half ironic, half serious. I'll just keep on picking like, good night. Same to you, and good luck. He'll spend the rest of the night dealing with problems and drivers. You wonder how and when the guy ever gets any sleep. Your boss opens the door and exits the cab. You watch him cross the street and enter the fleet garage. A couple of colleagues are milling about. Taxis are coming and going. They all ignore you, consciously or unconsciously. You're branded. You sit there a moment, then turn the key in the ignition. The hum of the engine sends a tingle down your spine. It's impossible to describe how you miss that feeling. It's back to the night shift, back to life. Despite the attack, despite it all. Alright, so we are going to just drive to people. Oh, this is how you drive to people, I guess. We'll go, I mean, these two are the closest. We can do a loop like that, I guess. We'll go this guy. Makes it easy to drive. Christophe Larian, I need to go to Faubourg Saint-Honoré. Distance. Oh, well, I guess, I mean, we're a taxi, right? We don't really care where somebody needs to go. Let's take him on. The next passenger getting in your cab has a surprisingly calm presence. He gently closes his door and gives you an address on the other side of the city. You start driving. You sense your passenger wants to talk about the killer. It's simple. Since the first murder, everyone thinks they know something. Everyone thinks they saw something. And this passenger is no exception. Rather chilly out, isn't it? His voice is warm and deep. Finally, you notice his white collar. There was something that flashed up on the screen over here. I don't know what it was, but oh well. His voice is warm and deep. Finally, you notice his white collar. You're not too cold. I'll try that one. You've got a lot of grit to want to drive in this kind of weather. The holy water font froze yesterday. The holy water front froze yesterday? We had to pour boiling water over it to break the ice. He pauses for a moment. He looks at the car, the seats, the windows. It's funny. I've never made the connection before today, but a taxi's kind of like a confessional. A small box removed from the world, where two people can converse without the risk of being interrupted. He waits. You look at him in the rearview mirror. Do people blabber on about their lives? We'll do a gentle smile. His face lights up. Why yes, I'm doing exactly what my parishioners do when they come for confession. They start with small talk, the weather, their grandson, granddaughter, niece, their dog. When they finally get around to what really matters, they share lies, trickery, stinginess. He sighs. I've been listening to people's confessions for over 15 years, and it's funny, but no one has ever told me anything really serious. He's waiting to see how you react. Well, I don't know what these ellipses or those things are. I guess we'll do the crimes just to keep him talking. A slight smile on his face. There have been things that are hard on a personal level, but never anything illegal. It's just that the people I hear in confession have so much to say. Of course we all have things we're ashamed of. Freud clearly understood the importance of the confessional booth. He made it into something more modern, more attractive, and less punitive. He pauses. Before going to seminary, I never doubted my calling, but since... He leans in closer. His voice is now lower and softer. Since then, I've a clearer understanding of the world. I can connect religions, schools of thought, ideas. And living in a country that is less and less religious, it's hard not to start wondering. Your passenger makes a sound, like a cork popping off a wine bottle. I have something I want to tell you. It doesn't bother me that people stop believing or believe in something else. Why our faith more than any other? Why our faith more than another? He struggles to find his words. What bothers me is that I'm not bothered by it. It's like I've already accepted it. He looks outside. Is there such a thing as driver-passenger confidentiality? He pauses, then bursts out laughing. Ha ha ha, I'm kidding, but I do wonder what people talk to you about. How would you feel about swapping stories? Sure. Really? I didn't think. He smiles. Nothing leaves this car, right? You nod. Who first? Wouldn't get on his good side by saying me first. That's not such a nice story. It's a story that haunts you. You think about it regularly. Not only because of everything that followed. The night of the terrorist attacks, the other drivers and I were helping people get home. We drove around, waved to people to get in, telling them it was okay, that everything was going to be alright. It was chaos. They all wanted to get home to their loved ones who weren't answering their phones. The slightest odd noise made them jump. Anyway, a woman and her husband got in the car. She wore a headscarf. He was glued to his phone. They gave me an address. We drove towards Rue de Rivoli. The radio was announcing the first estimations of the number of deaths. He started crying. She looked at me, stared at me in the rearview mirror like she wanted to read my mind. We'd almost arrived when he told her to take her scarf off. That would be easier for everyone that way. She refused. He raised his voice. She continued to stare at me in the mirror. A car speeds in front of you. You stop talking. How reckless. You glance at the meter, the green light, your rearview mirror. In the backseat, your passenger leans slightly forward. And what did you do? I nodded, insinuating that she was all right, that it would if it come down to that. She kept her scarf on and pulled over in front of the building. She got out first, walked towards the building without waiting for him. He paid me, lowered his eyelids. He takes a second to process the story. Held your gaze, his hands clasped. Impressive. Very impressive. You're saying we should remain proud of and faithful to our convictions. You nod. Your passenger smiles, but something's not quite right, as if the smile were forced. My turn now, then, I suppose. There was this old man whose wife died very young. Since she was an avid churchgoer, he continued to come Sunday morning. He clarifies. You should know that it's rare to see men alone at church. There are couples, lots of old ladies, mothers, young women. Church is not very manly, unfortunately. But anyway, he came. One day he asked me to take his confession. We sat down. Long moment of silence went by. I usually let them get acclimated to the muffled sounds coming from the outside booths, especially if it's their first time. And there he tells me that he's in love with someone, but doesn't dare betray his deceased wife. She was everything to him, you see. His son, his oxygen. For the last 20 years he's been suffocating, incapable of living alone. He wondered if it was a sin, or wrong, or if he might upset his wife up in heaven. He pauses a moment to let a smile spread across his face. He managed to find the right words, but he still wasn't sure, and said, "Come back to talk to me again." He stops. He died that night in sleep. I think of him often. We don't always hear our calling. We avoid our own destiny. His expression freezes. He hesitates, opens his mouth, stops himself, then finally, "You're right. Our stories are similar. Complementary. Thank you for sharing it with me." You've almost reached his destination. You notice passenger has been keeping an eye on the dashboard clock. You park in front of the address he gave you and cut the motor. The passenger pays his fare and suddenly seems lighter, more at ease. "Good luck." He gets out of the taxi and disappears into the nearby building. I guess you have to take the tip, right? Okay. Alright, so, and then we'll just move on. This is a lady in distress. There's a cat. What? Seriously, there's a cat. Well, gotta go grab the cat, right? I mean, it only makes sense to try something out that seems so odd. Croaky! Fare 18.89 euros of back uptown. Sure, why not? You pull up to the sidewalk and wait for your passenger. Since it looks like a no-show, you get out of the cab after a minute or two to smoke a cigarette. There's not much going on in this small town in the suburbs. There are a few apartments that are still have lights on, a sweet scent hangs in the air. Eventually you stub out your cigarette and get back in the car. You jump, startled. A cat has managed to slip into the cab. You see on the back seat, staring at you intensely. You sit there for a moment, considering whether or not to shoo it away. But just as you're about to wave your hand, the cat shifts positions and a slip of paper falls from its collar. Well, look at it. You pick up the piece of paper and unfold it. A fragment of a map of Paris. The Saint Lazare train station. You turn your eyes slowly to the cat. He seems to be expecting an answer. Are you going somewhere? The cat tilts his head to the side as if to say yes. You want to go to Saint Lazare. The cat tilts his head again. Are you a dog? The cat slowly nods its head no. Your hands clutch the wheel tightly. What the hell is going on? You turn around to face the cat. Sure, we'll take the cat. Why not? This is just for amusement. You let out a sigh. Okay, fine. Fine. You start talking to yourself in low tones as to balance the conversation. Normal. This is all perfectly normal. You start the cab, but cast a glance at the cat behind you. You're the one who ordered the cab? You start to laugh. A few minutes go by, you try to break the ice. Simple questions are probably best. Everything okay? Either yes or no. More plaintive meow. We'll go with, are you meeting someone? No, that's not it. The cat staring at you, the conversation seems to bore him. You seem to be well fed. I'm pretty strange, I must say. Did someone hurt you? Plaintive meow. You sigh. Your owner? Another meow, but longer and deeper and more heartfelt. You nod your head. What happened? Was it a man? No answer. A woman? Was she mean to you? The cat seems to be uncertain. The cat gives you a look of disbelief. No, that's not it, eh? You're independent. You like to be alone, right? The cat lets out a string of insistent meows. What does that mean? Touche, that's it. She's too affectionate, and that's why you're running away. Cat's watching you with a steady eye. You're sure you're on the right track. You have to be careful with people like that. They suffocate you before you even know it. You nod your head. But you ran away. I meet lots of people like you. You stop short. But you're just a cat. You roll your eyes behind you. The cat lets out a reassuring meow. Meow. Go on. What I mean is, well, we don't even know we're in a cage. We'll prefer not to think about it. We're not fully aware of it. You look at the cat. I must be crazy. I'm talking to her. You shake your head. You point a light to the distance. That Saint Lazare will be there soon. A few yards later, you stop at the drop-off area in front of the station. The first train doesn't leave for another hour. Where are you going? The cat stares at you without making a noise. Let me guess. Saint Lazare. If you're going to the suburb of Paris, you wouldn't have needed to come into town. So somewhere in the northwest of France. Normandy? Somewhere by the sea, huh? Cat looking at you meows. A sharp sound, probably a yes. A very hungry yes. For the fish, I guess. You check the time on the dashboard. It's time to go. Get a real customer. Try not to think too much about the situation you're in. Hope that no one sees you talking to a cat. We'll keep on going. I'm just saying the names of cities you meow when I hit the right one. You start to list cities in Normandy. Cat doesn't move a muscle. Cherbourg. Cat looks up. So is Cherbourg. Getting close. Saint Malo? Nope. I've got it. Deauville. A meow of delight. You're smiling too. All of a sudden you're exhausted. Okay, come on. Time to say goodbye. Get out of the cab and open the back door. A bill has appeared on the seat next to the cat. It's enough for the fare, and more. Well, you're full of surprises, aren't you? I won't ask where it came from. You smile, lean to pet the cat. It leaps out of the car and darts between your legs. You can just make it out its shape, dashing up a flight of stairs and slipping between the bars of a gate. You get back in the car. Got an achievement. That's the cat. You get back in the car. You look at yourself in the rearview mirror. Your features are heavy with fatigue. Your right eyelid is twitching. As you start the car, you remember you're allergic to cats, but you haven't sneezed once. You pull out of the station. Oh, that's funny. Alright. We'll take the extra money. And the door suddenly opens and a woman gets in the back seat. Another achievement just unlocked. Hold on. Having a good night? For a second you freeze. It's one of the cops working on the judge's case. She grins at you. Her voice creaks. You remember seeing her at the hospital. Something already bothered her about her there. You know, it's actually pretty crazy. For weeks I've been saying to myself there's something off about you. Something not so nice. I dug around, mulled it over, bugged all my fellow cops about it because I was sure you lied to us. She has a cold sneer on her face. I'm going to be frank with you. She leans over. I don't think you're the judge. Nah, I just can't picture it. She squints, like she's trying to make you out from far away. Like you'd have gone to the extent of hurting yourself. Yeah, between us is a bit of a stretch. She stares at you. But not enough of a stretch for my chief to stop going on and on about you. Seriously, he talks about you all the time. If I didn't know better, I'd think he had a crush on you. She smirks. No, I think he's more interested in your profile in prison at 17. An icy chill fills your gut. Yeah, for murder too. You open your mouth, but nothing comes out. Since you got out, you've kept a low profile. But you're lying about your name and your address. I checked. It's normal, he'd say. If they get word of your time served, no loan for your permits, no lease for your car. Meaning, no second life, chance at life. Her voice becomes softer, almost warm. I personally like guys who want a second chance. No, I like guys who fight for a second chance. Basically, I like guys who are willing to work for me. She leans forward, her shining, cat-like eyes narrowing. My chief wants to go to the prosecutor with a first and last name with evidence. Actually, knowing him, he's not so hot on evidence. So I'll give you info, victim, suspects, medical reports, and photos that are a bit. She makes a gagging noise. You have to be discreet. Keep it between you and me. Interrogate, ask questions, dig around. We'll just stay quiet for her. I'm not asking to make an arrest and deliver the killer wrapped up with a bow in front of the station, okay? You're not Batman. You're just here to get me some information. She rummages around her pockets for what seems like forever. Here, take my card. I'll call you in 3-4 days just to check in. We'll chat. I'll let you know if I have any new info. She takes on a didactic, paternalistic tone, like she was giving you a list of recommendations for the 100th time. Don't get caught. Don't get arrested. Also, I wouldn't recommend trying to leave Paris. I know what you look like. And I know who your friends are. You can either be the solution or the problem, my friend. She takes a minute to scan your face, your emotions. If I have to, I'll go check in on you-know-who. Her smile is biting. That reminds me. She know you've done time. You shake your head. She snickers. Haha, oh my little dirtbag, you cover your tracks well. Yeah, if you say so. She sighs in a tired, exaggerated way. Don't try to mess with me, man. If things don't go well, I'll turn you in. I'll send you a picture to all my friends in the media and every asshole in Paris. Your picture with your name on it, your real name. Anyone close to you will have their places searched. They'll be put under house arrest, spent nights in jail. You have any idea how tense things are with that fucker's trial underway? You sigh. You know just what she's trying to get at. Come to think of it, your last names are almost the same. You could be brothers, actually. Okay. Either basically blow up or try to defend yourself or say nothing. Well, we'll just say, I'm not like that terrorist. She smiles. Let me tell you with that face of yours and your handle, they'll welcome you with open arms. I'll just say, she takes you on a serious tone, businesslike. I want to catch this killer personally. I want to drag him to court, ruin his fucking life with a bang. You can't bosh this case, you got me, and neither can you, right? I can either say nope, or obviously with a little bit more sass. We'll do that. Well, great then. We see eye to eye. So you can just say you're my informant, my CI. He ripped open your guts. You saw your own insides. You were in a coma. Yeah, you have plenty of reasons to want to get back at him. She furrows her brow. Yeah, I think you're actually going to do what I tell you to do. You investigate, ask questions, listen to all the rumors, and you come up with a list of suspects. She lays her hand on the door handle and freezes. Alright, and don't get fired. Without this cab, you're worth nothing to me. You glare at her. We'll, hold it in for now. For what it's worth, it was a pleasure not being interrupted every other minute. You can't imagine how much I miss that at work. Yeah. She puts her hands up. You can hear the words behind it. This conversation never happened. I'll make sure you get more intel tomorrow. I'll find a way. Until then, not a word to anyone, obviously. Not a word. The door opens, squeaks, and slams shut. Fucking bitch. You stood alone for a while, teeth clenched, dry-eyed, ears buzzing. Shit. On the back seat, the cop left a pile of papers. Shit. Key in the ignition, motor running. Radio on, crackles, you turn it off and start driving. So, I guess here's where the game actually starts. So, talking to passengers might unlock new documents and clues for your investigation. You'll find them back at your studio after your shift. 6 clues discovered available in your room. Back in our room. guess it's time to start investigating. You take a second to enjoy the silence of your studio apartment. Outside, the city is slowly waking up. You can still hear the hum of the taxi buzzing in your ears. You throw the files Busset gave you on the table. On the wall, you hung up the big corkboard where you used to pin up photos of your nephews. They've been gone since you got out of. Your plan's simple. Jot down all the pieces of evidence and connect them to the suspects. The guilty party won't necessarily be the one with the most evidence against them, but the one with the most compelling evidence against them. It's like you're building a story about each suspect, trying to understand their motives, understand how he or she got into the situation. Steps in the hallway, they stop in front of your door, then move away. You take your shoes off before getting to work. Oh wow, okay, so we've got okay, I'm not sure what's going on here. Okay. Autopsy report, victim 3. What? Autopsy report, victim 4. And killer case. Picture of crime scene 1. Picture of crime scene 2. Picture of crime scene 3. Alright, so we got a bunch of new clues. Oh wow. Message on crime scene 3 is time is up. Killer's height less than 1.80 m. Death by execution. Weapons rare gun used in the 70s. Killer left message in chalk on first 3 crime scenes. Victim killed with 1 bullet in the neck. Message on crime scene 2, you deserve this. On crime scene 1, justice. Okay. Oh, you can move stuff? Bullet in the neck. Retired cop. Cop in Paris. Medical examiner. Homeless. Lawyer. Killer knew the victims or researched them. Let's just end the night. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You slowly open the sofa bed and lie down. The events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, their faces, their problems. Your brain is running at full speed, your body aches and you're in pain. You can tell you need to get some more sleep. You glance at your investigation board. It looks awfully empty, and you're sure this is the best. It's too soon to say. You shake your head and your mind wanders for a second. A second later, you fall asleep. You open one eye. It's pitch black outside, time for work. You get up quickly, and a few minutes later, you're outside of your studio. Night 2. So we come out to the garage again. If we need gas, we'll fill up gas, and we basically just need to keep on talking to people and such. Alrighty. Well, I think I'm going to end my video here. I think it must save automatically. I don't see a save option. Yeah, you could just continue from a previous game. Let's see where it brings me. Yeah. Oh, it's different. It's kind of have randomized. The people are different just from loading the game. But in any case, let's see what the Pasidex is. Oh, it's just oh, passenger index. That's what it stands for. And various things you can do with each particular passenger. I gotcha. Okay, cool. Anyway, yeah, so interesting game for sure. I like it. It takes a lot of readings, which is another reason why I'm not going to keep this video going, because I can read a lot faster than I can read out loud. And I do want to see some progress here. Anyway, if you like what you've seen, you know, it's a very interesting game for sure. It'll take some reading, but it's not too hard to get your mind around. I'm curious about the dragging the evidence and pieces of intel on that message board and how to connect it with different people. I was trying to do that, but I a little struggle trying to figure out how to do that. Nevertheless, it's definitely a mature themed game, that's for sure. There's a lot of dark, mysterious murder, heavy on the profane laced language. Not heavy, actually very little so far, but they're just spelled out, and now they're voiced out by me, so that's my own problem then. Alrighty. Nevertheless, I hope you had fun, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.